Hello once more and welcome again. Thank you always for always stopping by. Thank you for joining us in one of our episodes. Welcome to Star's Kitchen. And today we are making something really spectacular. We're making Owo sauce, okay? The Bini version of Owo sauce. All right, quickly I'll just walk you through. Now, firstly, I'll give you a brief history of Owo sauce. Then I'll walk you through our list of ingredients. All right, guys. So Owo is the traditional sauce or soup native to the southern region of Nigeria, such as Bini, Urobo, Delta, Ishekiwi, Ijo, and Isoko, those part of Nigeria, okay? It is a popular delicacy with few variation depending on the tribe. Now, with Urobo people, they prepare Owo soup by adding herb like starch flour, gari from cassava mixed with room temperature water, and then add to taking this amazing soup, which they eat with starch prepared with palm oil. Some other times too, they eat theirs with plantain, either ripe or unripe, and also yam. If you notice, when I talk about the Owo soup, I use the word soup because to Urobo people, it's understood or seen as a soup because of how they eat it. Why to Bini people, Edo State Bini people, it is referred to as a sauce and not a soup. All right, so guys, however, with Bini people, Owo serve only as a sauce, which I said earlier, to eat unripe and ripe plantain, yams, whether roasted or boiled, and it is not used or served as a soup, okay? It is seen as a sauce. For me, I've always wondered why they looked different and slightly tasted different, but the smell was always the same. I guess it's because of the one common thing Owo, either as a sauce or a soup, has in common, which is potash. In terms of preparation, I mean. So I went digging and do some research, and I found out some of this stuff which I'm sharing with you guys today. So in honor of our southern Bini people, I bring you the Bini Edo people's version of Owo sauce. So if you have been longing for Owo sauce and did not know how to go about it or how to prepare it, well, you're in luck, as you've found for yourself a friend who is a freak for old recipes and traditional food. Now, if you are from Bini, you will understand our love for this sauce. You can't be in Bini and has never heard of the word Owo. I mean, like every Bini home, Owo is prepared, if not 2 or 3 times a week, maybe once, but however it's prepared, except of course those people just don't like it, but then it's very, very uncommon. It is mightily respected by Bini people. Still talking of Owo sauce, yes. Now let's get cooking. All right, so this is what this our channel is about. It's not just about cooking. There are a lot of amazing people doing the same thing online, but we just thought to spice it up by bringing in our history into it, educating ourselves, especially for those growing in diaspora or maybe not growing in their village, that means those back in Nigeria. So if you're from a particular region in Nigeria or any part in Africa, whether Zimbabwe or anywhere, it is so important that you know your food. It is your local food, that the particular region you're from. What kind of food do they eat? Why they eat that kind of food they eat? Why the recipes that are found there, do you know them? Do you know what they are called? Now, this is what Star's Kitchen is all about. And thank you guys always who believe in us and also that have been keeping up with us. Yes, that's it. Okay, quickly, not to take your time so long, we're just gonna dig into the cooking. Let me walk you through our list of ingredients. All right, special, yes, they're making Owo Edoma Owo sauce. So these are the list of ingredients we have here. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. So this is the key ingredient. Without this you cannot have Owo. So these are potash. I'm gonna crush this later, put in some water and take just the liquid from it, because some of the times they got sand. These are Ebevharihe, if you know, you know. So I'm using 1 whole mackerel fish. So I have 2 already fried and 2 fresh. I just chopped up the head because I don't want bones. I want to be able to eat this really nicely. I have some salt, some seasoning cube, 2 onions. Here you need a lot of onions for your Owo sauce. Yeah, it helps it a lot. I'm using just 4 tomatoes, And also I'm using some cray. And of course some pepper, palm oil, yes, palm oil as well, and also some grounded pepper. That's what we need for this. So quickly I'll show you. I'm gonna blend us now like you see me do. I just chopped our tomatoes and pepper into nice bits. So my blender, it depends on what your blender can carry. Mine can carry that quantity. So when you're well blended and smooth, so I pour it into a pot just like this now. Naturally, you just put in all your meat at this point, but I just want mine to boil up a bit. So the same thing, it didn't take up to like 2 minutes just to boil up. So I put in my meat, so my fish, sorry. So there goes my Ebevharihe fish, my mackerel fish, 2 fresh, 2 fried. Now you don't have to do that, it's basic, it's optional. I just fried them because I love the taste it brings to the dish. So yes, I did that. Cover it, just put in our salt, yes, like you saw me do, some salt and 1 seasoning cube. Just leave that to boil. So while that is cooking, we're going to prepare our potash. Okay, so here I have 2 tablespoons of potash. Now if you're in Nigeria, you have access to better, more active potash, especially those shiny ones. So I'm far away from home, and these ones that I can get, they're not really that active. They have sand in them. Usually when I get those ones, I don't have to sieve them. I just put in the powder like that, and it works out well. There are no sand, but this one has sand in them because I've used it before and it ruined my delicacy that I made. So yes, and these are not so active, so I put a lot more, added some warm water, and as you see me doing, I'm just going to sieve that in to get it active. Now without potash, there is no way you can make Owo, except of course I know there's something else that came out then that you could use. I don't know what it is, but then I have a friend who got it for me. Then I tried it, it just didn't work out because they said potash had something in it. Well then, since we've been eating it with like this for generation to generation, we have not died, so we are just fine, we are okay with it like that. So yeah, that's it. So you put in that, and you keep at this point. I just reduce my cooking speed to medium. I just want this to boil in a bit, just allow, because like I said, this potash has left Africa since many years ago. I don't know how long, because when I bought it from the store, the way it looked, I just know, man, this potash would have expired if it was back home. But yeah, you see it, you're even happy that you got it. So that went in, leave it to boil in for like 5 minutes, just so it can cook in a bit, but with low speed. If it was with the more active one, I would not be cooking it at all because I would take it out. So just like that, I pour in my oil, and immediately I took it off the cooker like you saw me do. I'm just going to put the lid over it slightly and leave it to cool for like 5 to 7 minutes. Not completely cold, just to cool down before I come and shake the whole thing up. So while that is cooling down, our pot is here with our plantain. I'm cooking just to banana. This is a food for me and my soul. I'm home alone, so I'm making this food and I want to eat it with all my heart and in peace, watching a nice movie on Netflix. All right guys, too much information I guess. So yeah, my plantain is cooking, and look at that. You see how my oil is still spread on it? This potash is not as active as the other ones you get back at home. You could get them here, but I've never seen it where I am. So when I got this, I was really grateful I got it. So like what I'm doing, you just shake that really nicely. You could use your spoon. I prefer to do this because the quantity is not much, so it's just handy for me. But if you're making a larger quantity, obviously you cannot carry a big pot, so you're going to use a spoon, maybe a spatula. If you notice, I'm using a spatula now because of my fish, especially the fresh fish. I don't want them to scatter inside my sauce. So that's it. So mine is turned enough, and look, this is how well I could get it turned because of this potash. So I'm just doing a little portion for those who are doing it for the first time, who wouldn't know. So assuming you turn yours and it doesn't come out and gives you that popping, that kind of a yellowish and thick texture that you want. So what you do, you just take your potash, add in more water, hot water, yes, stir it a bit, then put at the corner. Try it. If you put at the corner, you see you're getting what you want. You can add in small quantity of palm oil to see if you like how the texture is, how the color comes out. Then you do for the whole, and test it as well. So when you're cooking, you have to be careful with your salt. All right, so if your salt is too much, because potash has its own salt in it, it's going to overwhelm the whole dish, and you don't want that at all. And as well, before your potash go in, make sure your tomatoes is almost thick but not completely thick and not watering, because if it's too thick, by the time you put in the potash, it's going to be too thick and you won't like that. And if it's too watery, when you put in your potash, it's still going to be watery. So just kind of gauge it. You saw how mine was. Once it starts to cook and the water is beginning to dry down a bit, not completely, there your potash goes in, and that's it, guys. It's so simple and easy. Making this meal doesn't take up to an hour if you have everything ready. Let's say an hour, yeah. So depending on how you are in the kitchen. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you try this recipe, let us know. And as always, we love you. Goodbye. This is Stars Kitchen again. Bye.